In a world where talent is a rare commodity, there are stories that seem to be written by an invisible hand. This is not just the story of a footballer. It is the story of a boy from the suburbs who conquered the world at 19. It is the story of someone who runs faster than destiny. But every prodigy has its price. And today, on Endless Curiosities, you will discover everything you have never been told about Kylian Mbappé, the predestined one who dared to challenge destiny. Kylian Mbappé, the beginning of a legend. There is a boy who at just 10 years old looked at himself in the mirror and already saw himself as a world champion. Not a dream, but a certainty. His name is Kylian Mbappé. Today he is one of the most powerful faces in world football. But behind the spotlight, there is much more. Silent struggles, inhuman pressure, power games, and a secret that has not yet been told. This is his story, but not the one you already know. This is the story of the predestined one who dared to challenge his destiny. The Bondy boy. Bondy, a Parisian suburb. A neighborhood that smells of worn asphalt, gray buildings, dreams too big for such narrow streets. This is where Kylian was born, son of Wilfried, a Cameroonian soccer coach, and Faiza, a former handball champion of Algerian origins. In the Mbappé household, sport is a religion. And Kylian is the announced messiah. At 6, he touched the ball like an adult. At 8, he humiliated 12-year-olds. At 10, he was already talking about the Champions League as a goal, not a dream. But the real secret weapon wasn't speed. It was the mentality. Clairefontaine, the breeding ground of champions. The most famous training center in France, Clairefontaine, opens its doors to the best talents. Mbappé enters without hesitation. His name begins to circulate among scouts and agents. At 13, he is invited to London. Chelsea tries him out and rejects him. Real Madrid calls him. He goes, trains with the young players and meets Cristiano Ronaldo. But he returns to France. Because, says his father, before being a champion, he must become a man. The explosion in Monaco. At just 16, Mbappé makes his debut in Ligue 1. A year later, he explodes in the Champions League. Goals, dribbling, unreal accelerations. He is the new Thierry Henry, they say. But Mbappé only has one name in his head, Pelé. And like Pelé, he wants to make history, already at 19 years old. World champion at 19. Russia, 2018. Mbappé leads France to the title. Decisive goals, spectacular plays, veteran personality. In the final against Croatia, he scores a goal that makes history. He is the first teenager since Pelé to do so in a World Cup final. But there is a detail that few know. Mbappé donates the entire World Cup prize to charity, to an association for disabled children. It is not just talent. It is a bigger vision. The shadows behind the smile. After the triumph comes the weight. Every word, every gesture, analyzed, judged. Euro 2021, France falls. Mbappé misses the decisive penalty. The world attacks him. Online, racist insults explode. For the first time, the predestined wavers. He starts to close up. He gets colder. And someone whispers, he's just a boy, but the world wants him to be a god. The PSG case. Money, power and betrayal. The transfer to Real Madrid seems a done deal. But then, the twist. Mbappé renews with PSG for an astronomical sum. Not just money, the contract guarantees him internal influence, almost like a manager. But is this really what he wanted? Coexistence with Neymar and Messi is tense. On the pitch, sparks. Off, silence. Some speak of Mbappé as a tyrant. Others, of a boy manipulated by a system that wants him at the center, at any cost. Real Madrid. Is destiny written? Mbappé announces that he will leave PSG. All the clues point to Real Madrid. Is it a return of destiny? A circle that closes after 10 years? Or is it an escape, the only way out for a man who gave too much, too soon? The truth is that Mbappé has never seemed so close, and yet so far away. Predestined or a lonely man? Who is Kylian Mbappé really? The boy who laughs on the pitch, or the one who reflects in silence in the locker room? the future master of world football, or a young man still searching for himself? Maybe neither. Maybe Mbappe is simply what everyone wants him to be. But one day, he too will have to choose, to be an icon or to be free. This was the true story of Kylian Mbappé. A predestined one, but also an enigma. And every enigma just waits to be deciphered. If this story touched you, leave a like to support our work. Write in the comments what you really think of Mbappé, predestined or just a victim of the system. And if you want to discover with us the most incredible lives of our time, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. The best stories are yet to come.